What's up, YouTube? This is Brian Pfeiffer, aka the Marketing Meathead, and today we're going to talk about Facebook ad placements. All right, welcome back. So, if you're familiar with Facebook, you know there's a lot of different places you can place your ads. So, I put together a real nice blog post kind of outlining the placements of the ads and whatnot and showing examples of the different placements. So for those of you that don't run a lot of Facebook traffic or are just kind of familiar with the site, you might learn something here today. I do want to give you some ideas here of what's possible. We are running some affiliate campaigns, and you can look here. I'm filming this on January 7th. This video is coming out later this week, but as of today, we're year to date here, 20K this week, and that's in the first 7 days of this year. And actually, here's an updated one. This is later in the day, and you can see today, and it's 228. Yeah, this is the same 2883. I'd put an arrow on this one. That's all. So, and then here's another one here. We're running a ClickBank offer, and this is 1/8 year to date, so 17K. And here's another one here of year to date. 12K. So that's right around $50,000 we've generated just in the first week of 2019 with Facebook and some other traffic sources, but mostly Facebook. Okay, so it's just kind of giving you an idea of what's possible. That's $50,000 in 1 week in revenue. Okay, 1 week. All right, let's get into it. This is the Facebook ads placement guide. I'm going to put a link below to the blog post here if you want to go through and look at this blog post. I did spend some time and made some nice screenshots and laid it out real nice for anybody that's interested. The first place you want to go in, and you can go into the ads manager, and you can actually choose, obviously mobile or desktop. Now, some of these placements are not available on mobile, for example, and or if some are not available on desktop, for example, because of obviously the limitations of a phone. Whereas there's a right column newsfeed that you can't see on mobile, so obviously that's not available on mobile, and most of the other placements are available on both. Now, some of the in-app placements, like in Messenger and whatnot, you're not really going to see those as much on a desktop. That's more for like the mobile side of things. Okay, so let's go down and take a look here. I did include a graph here. This was from Ad Espresso, and it talks about the cost to be in like certain different placements. Okay, and I'll show you guys some examples of all these. So here's what the ads manager looks like these days. You have basically inside Facebook, you got your feeds, your instant articles, your in-stream videos, your right-hand column, your suggested videos, your marketplace, and your stories. Okay, that's just in Facebook. Then of course you got your Instagram, and then you got your audience network, which is different apps and whatnot, and then you got your Messenger, which is your stories and your inbox and your messages. And I'll have some samples of all these in here. So inside your Facebook feed, I'm sure you've scrolled your feed before, and anytime you see a sponsored link, that's an ad, obviously, in your feed. And an instant article looks very similar to an ad. Basically, you just click on it, and it just basically keeps people reading your content right inside the native ad, which is Facebook. It just keeps them reading your article, which is pretty cool. It's basically brings them right to your article. Okay, so they're not like jumping off the platform; they're staying on the platform. You got in-stream videos. I'm sure you guys have seen these. It just basically says sponsored, and then there's a video instead of an image. Here's one of Russell Brunson. He's all over my newsfeed lately, pushing his funnel hacking live event. You got the right-hand column, which if you notice here, this is it says sponsored, and it's on the right-hand side. Okay, not in your feed. That's only on desktop. Your suggested videos. Basically, this is going to be where you're watching a video, and then after the video comes up, basically another video is like an ad. Okay, it'll say sponsored. Okay, you'll see it say sponsored, so it's actually an ad, not just another video to watch. Here's the one it looks like with a celebrity on some kind of late night talk show for Acorns. You can get these ads real simply by just going onto your phone and taking a screenshot. Marketplace, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Marketplace by now. Basically, Facebook's kind of come up with a marketplace, and you can buy and sell stuff on there, kind of like eBay or whatever, and you can actually advertise in that. So here's an example of Tim Bird, who's an internet marketer, was running an ad in Marketplace for his upcoming mastermind, and that was right in my feed. Okay. Now there's also like stories on Facebook, and there's stories on Messenger, and there's stories on Instagram, and pretty much it's the same for all. You can basically, in between like your friend stories, you can put an ad. Here's an example of a Tony Robbins event that was just happening this weekend, and they were running a story ad in between like the different stories. Okay, so I took a screenshot of that. Eric Worre, he's a big MLM guy. And Instagram, it's pretty much the same thing with the stories, okay? And then they have a feed, okay? So it's either in the story or in the feed. That's where your ad placements are. Here's an example of a sponsored ad in the feed, and here's a sponsored ad in the story, okay? And again, this was the cost per placement. I included this graph again so you guys can get an idea of what the cost is for each one of these particular placements. Roughly, obviously, it varies quite a bit, but this is a kind of a general idea. The Instagram is a little more expensive, and the Instagram stories is a little more expensive than the other stuff. This was as of 2017 and like all the quarters of 2017. Okay, so feel free to take a look at that graph. Now the audience network, that's like different apps and whatnot that are in cahoots with Facebook. Tinder is one of those apps, and you can actually advertise in these different apps through the Facebook ad platform. And here's an example of an ad that came up in Tinder for Anthony Morrison, and this was obviously an audience. Now if you're advertising something that you don't want to be on like a dating site or a more mature type of site, for example, if you're advertising something that was church related, you might not want to advertise on like Tinder or something. I don't know. Let me give you an example. But you can actually go in and you can exclude different categories. So you can exclude, debatable social issues, tragedy, conflict, dating. Obviously, that's Tinder there, and gambling, mature. So you can exclude this stuff. So I put a screenshot here of different options to exclude. So if you want to do that, you can also have in-stream videos, and they're very similar to the other feeds, but they appear off of Facebook basically. Okay, and you can have reward videos, which are a type of ads that works basically exclusively with like the gaming apps that are in cahoots. Okay, so they basically the user could like test it out before they want to download the game. Okay, those are all in the audience network. And then finally we have your Messenger Facebook ad placements, and of course you have like the ads that actually appear as like a message in your Messenger. Those are like your inbox message placements. And then you have like basically like a story. The messengers have a story too, just like Facebook and Instagram. The same thing. The ads could appear in those stories, or they could appear as like a sponsored message. And basically it just looks like when you're looking down on your friends list here, it just shows up as like a shop now. Here's this Jasper's Market that showed up in mine. And that's pretty much it as far as select placements go, the different options for placements. But now as far as selecting the placements, this is one of those things you can actually check the box to basically let Facebook pick the placements, and then you can actually go in and look at your reporting here. If you click on this bar and then click on placements here, and you can actually see where the placements were showing up of your advertising campaign. And then based on your results, you can choose to decide if you want to keep running on all the placements, or if you want to take some of those placements out and just try different placements that were performing better. That's really up to you. But you pretty much want to, we usually test like, depending on what we're running, but generally we'll let Facebook do the automatic placements for a while, see how it goes, and then we'll pull it back and just go to the profitable ones down the road. So that's pretty much it for Facebook ad placements. Hopefully you guys learned something today, and I'll go ahead and put a link to this blog in the video below. And if you want to go ahead and look through this, and whenever you want a refresher course, just come back to the blog here and go through, and it'll give you all the details here. And if you did learn something today, I would appreciate a comment below. Let me know if you like the content, and if you are new to the channel, go ahead and leave me a comment below. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. And if you haven't liked this video, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead and like, share, pass the word around about my blog, my channel. I'm definitely growing and trying to give you guys great content here on both the blog and the YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Bang that notifications bell. I'm the Marketing Meathead. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.